Hey guys, this is Stephanie and I'm Stacks on Stacks on Stacks. I am coming to you guys with my Monday reads, which today I'm going to be talking about the books that I read lately, about in the last month or so. The books I'm in the middle of and books I'm going to be reading the next few weeks. I think doing that thumbnail smashed my hair down. Lessons learned, right? Okay, diving right in. I finished Good Omens by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. I will tell you, I 100% read this because the TV show came out on Netflix and I wanted to watch it, which is hilarious because I read the book and I haven't watched the TV show yet. I watched the first episode, maybe, and that was it. I gave this a 3.8 personally and a 4.0 technically. I actually really liked the writing. There was a lot of weird British writing, weird because they weren't sayings that Americans necessarily say. I did find it very charming though, but there were definitely times that they would they'd be like, we're going to follow this nurse and this thing. And you're like, this will kind of wrap up together, right? Eventually it does. But sometimes I felt like they went on some super duper tangents. So maybe that's just their writing style. Okay, I thought it was upside down for a second. Maybe it's their writing style. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But I did enjoy this. It was different. It was kind of awkward nerd talk, but good. I don't know what to say, but I did like this one. Basically, we're following an angel and a demon that we're supposed to make sure that the Antichrist was brought up a specific way so that the end of the world would come about. And things do not go as planned, which was cute and fun, actually. And the demon, he's living life in the world, and I very, very, very much could not help but see David Tennant as the demon, Crowley. I loved that too. I loved seeing him in my brain as Crowley, and the things he said were very David Tennant, and I did enjoy it. I did. And this is not a new fiction either. This has been around a while. I think it was written I want to say early 90s. But I'm not positive. But I think it was written early 90s. And I was surprised I like it because I've read some older fiction lately and I haven't enjoyed it as much, which makes me think maybe I don't enjoy older fiction. But then again, maybe I do, because this was funny. This was very funny. So if you enjoy funny and a little bit sacrilegious, you'd probably like this book. I also read All the Ever Afters, The Untold Story of Cinderella's Stepmother by Danielle Teller. This was my book club pick for the month of October. I don't know which month. We met in the middle of October. So whatever that is. And it was okay. Basically in this one, it's exactly like it sounds. You are following Cinderella's stepmother, and you actually follow her from a little girl up to, the Cinderella's time, basically. I think I gave it maybe a 2.5 or 3.0, maybe 3.0. The writing wasn't terrible, but there were definitely times I just kind of lost interest. I liked the story itself and the things that happened I found interesting, and I did like it starts with the stepmother. She grew up as a servant in a big castle-y house, and she had to work hard for what she got, and she taught herself to read, and it's a big pull yourself up by your bootstraps kind of book. And I liked that. I liked the presentation of her daughters, who were the ugly stepsisters, who maybe I'm spoiling something here, were actually ugly. One of them had pox on her face and things like that. So they weren't ugly inside. They were physically ugly on the outside. And they were actually, all the tales were explained of how they mistreated Cinderella. And they were all really tiny things that were done, not negatively at all. They all had an explanation, which is good, I guess. I don't know, but I got bored in the middle of it. I was listening to it while I was driving, and I got to a point where I was I want to listen to something else, so I'm pretty sure I just listened to Harry Potter or something. But it was okay. It was not amazing. I wasn't expecting it to be amazing, but I was expecting it to be better than it was. Thoughts, if anybody's read this one? I also read and listened to Layer of Dreams by Libba Bray, which is the second in the Diviners novels. I'm not going to talk about this a lot because it is a sequel, so you can't talk about the sequel without spoiling the first one. However, in the first Diviners, these people kind of have superpowers, basically. Does anybody who's read this series, they are the characters from the TV show Heroes, or they are the mutants from X-Men or something like that? I feel like they call them diviners and they have these superpowers, But I feel like they're like these superpowers, they're divine and from the great beyond. And that's just how they kind of look at it in this world, I guess. But I don't know. I kind of like, oh, so they're mutants. Okay, so they can, like, you know, make you not see them. Or they can touch an object and they can tell you, ooh, who touched this object last? And things like that. Like, they're mutants. They're heroes. Anyway, it's basically mutants in the 20s. But I did enjoy this book. It was not as creepy to me as the first book. And maybe that's because I was ready for that. Like, I was ready to be scared, and I was ready to have to stay up for hours and read to the point where it wouldn't be scary. The scariest part about this is the characters in this were talking about the scariest part of the first book. And they were like, ooh, wasn't that scary? Oh, I guess they're not British. They were just like, isn't that scary? And they were talking to each other about that scary bit in the first book. And that was scary and creepy. But that was really it. It wasn't as scary and creepy, but it was still really good. Like, I really enjoyed the book. I really want to just pick up the next one because I think the fourth and final is coming out soonish, like January, February, something like that. So I want to pick it up because I did like this one. And I have a feeling, though, the next one will be scarier. I have a feeling that the scary in this one is going to link to the scary in that one, because that one was left pretty up in the air. So, yeah. I did predict quite a bit of the stuff in this one. I was like, so-and-so saying that. You know they're this and this. You know they that and that. So I was calling a lot of things. But still, it's a great read. It's a great read. I also read Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I loved this one. I did a buddy read with Serenity Dawn over at The Story. I can link her channel down below. She's just the sweetest human being. If you guys ever are in Dallas and you want to meet somebody who will make you smile and eat sushi with you and take you to all the book places in the world, that's your girl. She's amazing. She's fantastic. So we are doing monthly reads together. This was I think this was our October read. We did it towards the end of the month just because it was a busier month and I didn't want to clash with the Get Graphic With It readathon. So we waited till last week to read this, and we did like 11 chapters a day or something. And it was to the point where I was just like, do I really have to wait a day or can I keep reading? Because it was so good. It was so good. In this one, we're following a girl who wants to be a pilot. Like, this is a more dystopian society. It's a different world. Like, it's not Earth, or is it? But basically, the aliens come down and they attack, and then the people on the planet, like, get in the ships and they attack back just to protect their own, basically. And Spensa is our main character, and I don't want to actually give too much away, but she wants to be a pilot. She wants to go in the sky, and she wants to fly, and she wants to see the stars, and she wants to make a difference, and she wants to fight. She's a fighter, but she has a lot of adversaries, a lot of people that are pushing her down, a lot of situations that are not in her favor, and she chooses to fight anyway, which is pretty incredible. I don't think I'm a fighter. She's definitely a Gryffindor. Definitely Gryffindor. Anyway, it has Sanderson's amazing writing in a YA format. The sequel comes out this month, and I believe Serenity and I will be reading it in December. Ooh. So if you like Brandon Sanderson, if you like outer space, or if you like YA, you'll probably enjoy this book because it's fantastic. Oh, I gave Layer of Dreams like 4.5 stars, and I gave Skyward 5 because, yeah, it was so good. I also read Always and Forever Laura Jean by Jenny Han. This is the third book in the To All the Boys I Loved Before series. Being a sequel, I'm not going to be able to talk about this one in great detail, but it basically picks up towards the end of Laura Jean's senior year and where she's at with relationships and college applications and things like that. I think I gave this one a 3.0 more for nostalgia's sake versus actually being good. I should probably give it like a 2.3 or 2.4. It was definitely below average. There was so much like, oh, everyday stuff, and we're gonna bake cookies, and we're gonna bake the perfect cookie, and we're gonna do this and this. There was just so much of that, and I felt like there was very little of plot happening. Like, she's applying to colleges, she's finding what colleges she got into, which ones she didn't get into, and things along those lines. And then she has all her relationship shenanigans going on as well. And I feel like the majority of the book, like probably the first 60% of the book at least, was just those little things, like tiny things, like we're going to bake cookies and watch movies. We're going to have the sweet little conversation in the car. Daddy's going to do this and this and this. Margot's visiting from school. Like, that is what 60% of the book was. And I was like, I'm not even bored because I enjoy those little things, the little family moments. That's what I think I loved about the first two books. First book I liked more than the second book and then the third book. But I think that's what I enjoyed, was this family aspect. These sisters that love each other and they love their dad and they miss their mom. And like, I love the family stuff, but you cannot have that be the first 60% of the book before anything happens, then have this tiny conflict, which gets resolved in no time. And it was predictable. The thing that I thought was going to happen happened. The two things I thought were going to happen happened. So I was just kind of like it really didn't need to happen. The sequel really didn't need to happen. They probably could have stopped at the end of the first one because nothing of great consequence happened. I feel like it just wasn't necessary. I don't know what else to say. I can't spoil it. It was cute. It had cute stories and it was cute, but it had no substance. So maybe I'll give it a 3.0 because I enjoyed it, and maybe I'll give it like a 2 for writing because it just didn't need to happen. Yes, it's cute and I loved the little family times, but I have to tell you, nothing happened. The last book I have read so far is A Girl from the Other Side, number 5. If you at all tuned into my Get Graphic With It videos, you would have watched me read the other 4. Super quick reads. Great books. I think I gave it like a 4, maybe 4.3, something like that. The whole series so far has been great. I did get more answers in this one, which maybe that's why I liked it a little more. I always like answers. Like when I watch TV shows like Lost, I get really frustrated because I'm like, you didn't even give me any answers. I got answers, and I like that. But I am enjoying the series. There's only 2 more that are out and translated into English, which I will probably be reading shortly. And then I'm just going to have to keep my eyes open for the next 2 whenever they come to. So I'm loving this series. It is a fantastic series, first rate. Absolutely love it. It's fantastic. Okay, so the books that I am in the middle of and I am going to be reading. I am in the middle of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I don't have my bookmark, so I couldn't even tell you how far into it is. I am probably 3/4 of the way through it. I have been taking my sweet time with this one, but I want to get this one and the next one read by the end of the year. So I might listen to it on our trip. We're going on a trip. Mark and I, we're going on a trip. We're going on an anniversary trip. 15 years together. It's going to be fantastic. We actually leave in the morning and we'll be gone for a few days. So I will have time to listen because talking on airplanes is difficult. So I will listen on an airplane. See how that works? But I keep switching to this one like when I'm doing stuff around the house and I'm listening to a book and I'm actually not paying attention to what I'm listening to. I switch over to this one because I've read it before and I know what's happening. Love it. Love it so much. I am also in the middle of Nevernight. I started it like a month ago and then I just wasn't really in the right mood for it. And then I picked up Layer of Dreams and I was definitely in the mood for that one. So I'm only like 60 pages in. So I might pick this one up if I'm in the mood. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to take a ton of books with me. So there's that. I am also in the middle of Daughter, which is written by Katrin Davidsdottir, who is a CrossFit athlete. She is actually a 2-time champion. She won first in the games in 2015, 2016, I think. And I am listening to this one. She reads it herself. My library had it, so I got it. And I'm like 3/4 of the way through it. I like listening to her talk in her cute little Icelandic accent. And I love her story. It's so genuine and it's so who she is. And I think it's just really fun. Like I guess I enjoy nonfiction more than I thought. And on that note, I also have been listening to a book called Why We Sleep by Dr. Matthew Walker. I don't remember his name. It's here. And I am loving this book. I was told to pick this up by a friend of mine who was giving me crap for not sleeping. He's like, well, you don't sleep regularly and you have chronic fatigue syndrome and it is even more important that you sleep. And so I got the book on audiobook. The bad thing is it's like a 16-hour book to listen to. I'm only like 6 hours in maybe, and it has to be returned in like 2 days. So I don't think I'm going to get it finished listening to. So I re-requested it and it's like a 12-week wait. So this might be one I have to come back to, but I am enjoying it oddly enough. And it's nonfiction. I am enjoying knowing why I am a night owl and not a morning lark. And that is not a bad thing. And I'm enjoying the fact that it's like, it's literally written in your DNA. So if you're trying to fight to be a morning person and you're a night owl, you will fight forever. You will never win that fight because it is in your DNA that you are a night person. And I'm like, oh, That's so fantastic. Now, not everybody is a night owl or a morning lark. They said something like 20%, 25% of the population of the world is neither. They can actually fluctuate just fine in mornings or in the evenings. They can stay up late or get up early. They're great with whatever. That would be Mark. I am a night owl. It is a problem. I have my best functioning time of day in the evening. And then about 12, 1 o'clock, I feel like I should go to bed. And I don't want to get up before 10. And I don't want to do anything before noon. And I've always been that way. Even when I try so hard, it doesn't work. And now I know why. And they told me not to feel bad about it. And I was like, thank you. I am going to be picking up Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff next week. It will be, so next Monday, not today, but the Monday after. This will be a buddy read between Serenity and I for the month of November, I believe. I am excited about this one. This is another girl YA in the outer space with a pretty book that almost matches my hair, which is pretty cool. I don't really know what it is about. I know it's a girl who goes to some sort of flight school, I think. And that's about it. But I am hoping to enjoy this one. I won't be taking it on my trip because, you know, I'll read it next week. Oh, and I am also reading Book of Life. I got this one also on audio. So I have a bunch on audio. I don't know if that happens to you guys, but I feel like I request a bunch and then they all come in within like a day and a half of each other. And then I have 3 weeks to read them and they go back and I'm like, ooh. So I will be getting to this one. I have a feeling once I start this one, I'm going to just tear through it, even though it's pretty long. I did that with the last one that I listened to. I think I listened to it in like 5 days. I listened to it pretty quickly. So I will be getting to this one. Also, it has an insanely long wait list as well. So other books I want to pick up this month. I want to pick up 11/22/63. I'm a quarter of the way into it or so. I want to read this in the month of November. I am not super in the mood for this. That is a problem. Some of it's because it's absolutely huge and some of it is I'm just not in the mood for a super slow read. But I need to read it because I put it off and I put it off and I need to read it. I also am kind of in the mood for Before the Devil Breaks You. This is the third one in the Diviner series by Libba Bray. I am in the mood for this one 100%, but I don't think that I'm going to be getting to it this month. But I threw it in here in case I'm like, get a wild hair and decide I'm just going to pick this up because you never know with me. I will also be picking up the 6th and 7th of The Girl from the Other Side. These are quick reads. I'm hoping to read them maybe after we get back from our trip. I'll have some downtime. I'll have a couple of days of nothingness, which is just the best. And I got Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell, which I wanted to pick this up. I didn't get it till after the Get Graphic With It readathon. And I've been sitting on it for a couple weeks, but I need to read it. So I'm hoping to pick this one up. I've heard nothing but great things and I'm excited to read it. And I think that is it. It's what I read. It's what I'm reading. It's what I'm going to read. I think that's everything I have for you guys. Hopefully I haven't babbled on too long, but that is everything I have for you guys. Please feel free to let me know down below what you're currently in the middle of and how you're feeling about it. Are you liking it? Are you not liking it? What are your thoughts and opinions? Also, let me know if you have read any of the books that I mentioned, specifically the ones I already read, because I can discuss those with you. I'll have a harder time discussing the ones I haven't read yet. I'm just saying. But feel free to like, subscribe, whatever it is that appeals to you. I will be back in a couple of days with another video, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Goodbye.